Hello everyone! Today we're going to talk about how to successfully study English. In our last video, we talked about how to create a study plan. So if you're watching this video first, you should definitely check out my last video. So if you followed my advice from the last video, you've already set up your study plan and you've chosen some activities to improve your English. So now, you might be wondering, what happens when I finish the first month of my study plan? Well, the next thing to do is to give yourself a new goal for the month. Your new goal will depend on the reason why you're learning English. If you're learning English because you're going to travel, your goals are going to be very different from someone who's learning English for work. It's a good idea to think about and write down the reason why you're learning English and the goals that you want to accomplish. Because if you don't know what your end goal is, how will you know how to get there or when you get there? Think of it like driving a car and taking a road trip. If you don't know what roads to take and you don't have a map, you'll be driving around in circles for days. Writing down your goals is like having a roadmap to English fluency. Once again, I've created a template that will help you with your goals. And scientific studies have shown that the more we write things down, the more likely we are to stick to them. There's a link in my description box to download the template for your goal planner. So let's take a look at our goal planner. So once again, you can download this template and print it out so you can fill it out by hand, or you can do it on the computer like I am. We're going to practice filling out this template together. And I'm going to imagine that I'm an English student getting ready for a trip to Canada. The first thing we see here is our reason box. It's very important to have a good reason for studying English. Everyone studies for different reasons. So think about, why are you studying English? And don't just say, because I want to be fluent. If you really want to be successful, you need to have a clear reason to have a clear goal. So whether it's for travel, school, or work, try to get as specific as possible. In my case, I'm going to travel to an English-speaking country, so I need to speak English on my trip. In the next box, we have a question. What will happen if I don't learn English? Now, I'm not trying to be negative, but thinking about this negative side will help us to visualize why it is important to learn the language. So for me, if I don't learn English, I'll have a hard time traveling without English. I won't enjoy my trip and it'll be a waste of money. So I don't know about you guys, but I don't like wasting money. So this will be a big reminder for me to study English. Again, try to get as specific as possible. Next, we have our goal planner. We have 3 columns to help us detail our goals. The first column is the goal column. Here, we write a general goal that we want to accomplish. Next, we have the focus column. What will be the main focus of that goal? And what will that goal help us do? And lastly, we have the resources column. Here we can write down some ideas for some different things we can study to accomplish this goal. Now, like I said before, the more specific you get, the more it will help you accomplish your goals. I'm just going to fill this out generally. Because, let's be honest, no one wants to watch me fill out templates for an hour. You can fill out this template the way I do, but I recommend you get more specific. So when we're writing our goals, we're going to work backwards. Students often don't know where to start because they're overwhelmed with all the things they have to learn. So let's start with our end goal and slowly work backwards. So my end goal is to go on my trip to Canada and speak comfortably with native speakers. The focus of this goal is to speak with native speakers at stores, restaurants, hotels, and museums. And for the resources, well, I'm going to be doing this with native speakers because that's the whole reason I'm learning English. So if we take this one step back, I ask myself, what would be the most challenging thing for me to do? Aside from speaking to native speakers all the time, it would probably be speaking at the museum. So one goal before my end goal would be to be able to speak English in a museum. And the focus of that goal would be to ask and answer questions about art, history, and culture. And to study for this goal, I could study the museum's websites, talk to my language partner about museums, or even perform a role play with my language partner, where I imagine that I'm in a museum, either as a tourist or a tour guide. Now again, if I go one step back from the museum, how am I even going to get to the museum if I don't even know how to ask how to get there? So my next goal would be to practice speaking about how to take a taxi, Uber, or public transportation in English. The focus of this goal would be to ask and answer questions about directions. And once again, I find different resources to study this. So now you get the idea. I continue to move back from my goals, from checking into a hotel, to ordering food in a restaurant, until I arrive at a very basic goal, which is to introduce myself in English. Once I have a clear idea of what my goals are, I can use these goals on my study plan. And I can also use the ideas I have as resources to help me choose my activities on my study plan. You may have noticed that for every goal in the resources, I put talk to language partner and role play. And this is because language is all about communication. So it's very important to include communication activities as much as possible. Even if you're a beginner, you want to try speaking English as much as possible from the very beginning. Don't worry if you make mistakes. It's more important to practice speaking in English. Now, if you were preparing to study at an English university, take an English test, or work in an English environment, you would do the same thing with your goal planner. But you would just adjust your goals to help you achieve your English end goal. In this video, I was a little bit vague with my goal planner, but you can get more specific with the things that you want to focus on and the specific resources that you're going to use. Sometimes this means you'll spend more time reading or writing, but make sure that you're always communicating with someone in English. Now that you have a goal planner and a study plan, you're well on your way to becoming fluent in English. I know you must be really excited right now, but just remember that these things take time. If you stick to your study plan, focus on your goals, even if you have some good months and bad months, you're still guaranteed to become fluent if you keep working at it. So guys, language is all about communication, so you can start communicating by leaving me a comment down below. If you have any questions about this video or how to start organizing your goals, you can leave me a comment or send me a message. Even if you'd like me to take a look at your goals, I can let you know if you're on the right track. If you like this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Have an awesome day, guys. I'll see you in the next video.